Hello and greetings. This is Cosmic Greninja, and this is our playthrough of the final episode of Civilization 7, the new game that just recently came out. I hope you enjoy this episode, but before we get started with the actual gameplay, I am wanting to go over a few things. With that being said, here in about a second, we're going to get started, so be prepared. Alright, so in this series, it's our 7th game, and as you can see on the screen, I put together a list of all the ranked games based off of Metacritic and where they scored. Now, Civilization 7 just came out, and it already has an 80 out of 100. And with that being said, I think over time the score may change, but I also added in a section here, as you can see, on the far right after Civilization, I put Humankind to compare Civ 7 and Humankind. And the scores are very close. Right now, I do have them ranked in the order in which they appeared on this website, which I will put a link to in the description down below. But coming in first place, obviously, is going to be Civilization 2. It is the nostalgic of the series. And that's about the time when Metacritic started judging, based on the research I could find. Second place is Civilization 4. Yes, it beat out Civilization 3. For all of those people who are so gung-ho to say Civ 3 is better, well, the votes are in. Civ 4 is better. I love Civ 4, but the version of Civ 4 I like to play is Beyond the Sword. And with that being said, the next one is an expansion to Civ 2, Alpha Centauri. I was going to put it down below just to show which order, but other than that, I mean, I get it. The next thing I have put up on the screen is Civ 3 is in fourth place with a 90 over 100. Ties with Civ 5, actually. But I'm going to give Civ 3 the extra point here because it is slightly better than 5. 5 is the last in the series that was on the same path as 1 through 4. So I still think 5 is good. Civ 6 has an 88 out of 100. It is the 6th game, obviously. There are some games in between, and I will mention them later down below, just and with their scores. And these are all Sid Meier Civilization ranked games. I looked them up. Some of them, one of them I've never even heard of. So, yeah, I've been following Civilization for a long time. But, yeah. The 7th game, which is listed down below on the screen, is Civilization Revolution. It was a console game. It was different. It wasn't bad. I played it a few times. It was okay. Very fast paced though. It wasn't one I like. I like the slow pace. I like the one more turn aspect. I enjoy all that. So moving on. In 8th place was Civilization 4 Colonization. Now this game, unlike its expansion packs, Warlords and Beyond the Sword, Colonization was a whole different game, in a sense. It was built off the same engine that did Civ 4, but it was a different game. You can either be one of the colonial powers coming over, or you can be one of the tribes that are already in the Americas. I believe it's everything from a certain point in Brazil all the way up to Canada. And then up to the Rockies in some sense. it was a pretty fun game. I didn't play it very much. It was fun. I opted for Civ 4, the base game itself. Um, the next one in line, which shocked me where it ranked, based on the other games, is Civilization Beyond Earth. Um, the only thing I can say positive about Beyond Earth is I loved the tech tree. Oh my gosh, the tech tree was amazing. Why can't they apply that to all the Civilization games going forward? We hit the future era and it's like repeating. It's like, no, you created an entire game of the future era and built an entire tree for it. Give us that tree. Give us the ability to move to the next civilization in space. I mean, you gave us Civ jumping in Civ 7, so why not? And speaking of Civilization 7, it just came out. It's ranked 10th for the time being. I do think its ranking may change. Um, I don't know if it'll change for the better or for the worse. If it does, it may move up to um, 7th, 8th, or 9th place. It's not going to surpass Civ 6. I don't believe. In a couple years, we'll circle back around and we'll do another playthrough. But I am doing another comparison. We'll say around this time in 2027, and just to see where it ranks again, and just you know. But I don't think it's going to surpass Civ 6. Everything from Civ 6 all the way to first place, they're pretty much set in stone. I don't see them changing. Now, the only one that is not listed in the rankings, and as you can tell, has an NA listed, um, is Civilization. The first, the original, the Piper, the starter of starts. It came out in September of 1991, not September 1st. All I had was a month and a year, so that's what I went with. Same with Civilization 2. It wasn't March 1st, it was March 1996, some random date. But Excel spreadsheet has to put a number there somewhere, otherwise it freaks out. It can't just say February 2020 or whatever. But anyways, it was freaking out. But anyways, with that being said, I put it on here as an honorable mention because it was what started the series. It's what brought us all into Civilization to play. And frankly, without it, none of the other games would probably been in existence. So, can't, proceed without it. Now, honorably mentioning the ones that are listed on that website that I did not cover was in 11th place was Civilization Call to Power. It was a spin-off game of Civilization 1. I don't know much about it. I've never heard of it. So I don't have much information on it, but it was ranked 11th off from the website. In 12th place was Civ City Rome. Civ City Rome was kind of a mix between Civilization and SimCity. Another series of city building games um, before City Skylines existed. Um, in 13th place was the second game of Civilization Revolution 2. I don't know much about that game. I didn't play it. I had Civil Revolution. It was fine. I didn't see a need to buy the second one, so I didn't. And then one I actually never heard of at all was Starships. It's a Sid Meier's game. It's ranked last, so not many people like it, apparently. But yeah, that's where we rank on that. Now, I did mention at the beginning of this long blah blah um, that I put humankind. The reason I put humankind on here and with this was to compare it with Civilization 7. Civilization 7 has a lot of things that are similar to humankind and a lot of things that are not. The ability to jump from one civ to another by retaining the same leader was something that we saw in humankind. Now, mind you, we got more jumps in civilizations. We had, I think it was 7, 8, and we started with more errors or ages. Um, but other than that, I pretty much I think that's where the similarities end. Because Civ 7 did keep a lot of the traditional Civ stuff. And that was great. Um, Starting with the lackluster Civ tree. I'm sorry, the tech tree is just as boring as Civ 6 was, and as boring as Civ 5. It's not robust. It's not. I mean, honestly, I didn't get through the tech tree in either the exploration or modern ages. You can't continue the game after the end of the modern age. Um, so you can't finish the tech tree just to see what happens. And the only way you can finish it is if you don't do any of the mastery parts of the tech tree. Like I stated earlier, in Civilization Beyond Earth, the tech tree was very robust and interconnected. It was like a giant spider web, and that made sense. That's how it should be. It's not a linear line. You don't create writing and go straight to math. Writing can lead to different things. Um, I mean, do I like the fact that we have the civic and the scientific tech trees? Yes. But I mean, we can break that down. We can have the civic, we can have the science, we can have the militaristic tech trees. Researching three different things that benefit the entire country at once. And they take time. I mean, the fact that unless you play a fast game, you can jump from one age to the other quickly is insane. The fact that we have to wait till April of this year to get one more turn after the end of the game is also insane. Yes, I've seen the outline upload of the future of this, which I will add to the end of this clip before we start into the gameplay. Um, just to show that, it is what it is. But with that being said, I mean, I don't get why the tech tree is so blah. And another thing that bothers me about what they did with Civ 7 is they they took away the districts they gave us in Civ 6. They hyped them up. They basically convinced us that having these sprawling buildings across the entire landscape made sense. Instead of what they did in Civ 3, having that zoom in thing where you saw all the buildings, and when you zoom out, you just see a city cluster. Which, from a looking down from the planet, that makes sense. You don't see this big sprawling thing. You see the lights of a sprawling city, but you don't see individual districts. You see just the lights. You see just the clump of buildings. And then they did away with that, and then they gave us these new districts, which can have anything in them, and you can build over things, including over the barracks, dungeon, and armory for some unknown reason. You think that'd be beneficial to building the military. Um, But and that was all fine and dandy. But when then you get to the airport or aerofield or aerodome or whatever they call it, it's like this runway on dirt from the beginnings, and it's like, okay, but and it never upgrades. It never changes into, or at least I never saw it. And it may be something that's coming. You know, let's go ahead and bring in the video or the next clip of the updates coming, because I could probably go on forever. So on March 4th, as you can see on the screen, update 1.1.0 is giving us a new natural wonder, the Bermuda Triangle. Some updates, some changes to things. Holy cities can be converted. Woohoo! The whole religion path just was chaos. Um, I honestly, when I played Civ 6 and 5, I always played with "You Can't Cross My Borders" mod without open borders. I loved it. Couldn't convert my cities. I mean, they could naturally become another religion if close enough to somebody else, but it wasn't going to be at the incest of being converted. So that's something. Um, the army unpacking part, I hope they do fix that. I wish they'd fix the army concept altogether, where you can attack as an army instead of having to unpack it. Because I tried a few times and it did nothing. It's like, well, what's the point? I mean, I liked the concept of the army idea. I liked that it had little spots for it. That was neat. I liked it. It was lackluster at best. But, 21 days later, we get another update, 1.1.1. So, you know, it gives us Mount Everest, which you somewhat assume would have been in the game to start with, since it is what it is. But, yeah, more updates to the UI, more updates to stuff and settling improvements and stuff. Um, Gaining the ability to customize names of cities and commanders. The fact that it has to be an update towards the end of March and it wasn't part of the main game was sad. Because I mentioned it a few times while playing. Man, I wish I could rename this city, or man, I wish I could name this city. I mean, especially when your Civ changes and you still have the original Civ's names. It's like, okay, um, okay, and you can't change them. Like you plan out this city, like, well, I need to build this city now. Say you're in the modern age, and you're planning to be at this culture or this civ at the end. I'm gonna just use the ones I did, because I started as the Mississippians, and I went to the Shawnee, and then I went to the Americans. Okay, I picked my path. When I was the Mississippians, I had already planning where I was wanting, my last capital, and where I was wanting, New York to be, because I know those were going to be two cities in the Americas. But I was like, I need to build them now, so that way they have all this early stuff and go with it. But it didn't work that way, because you can't rename nothing. You can't even name your armies. I mean, they're all named Army, so you don't know which army's where. I mean, even if it had the Army 1, 2, 3, I would have been happier with that. But, eh. And then we get 1.2.0 sometime in April, May, who knows, because it says subject to change, and it gives us more stuff, including multiplayer, which would be okay, I guess. I played Civ 5 multiplayer. It was fun. It was nice. It was interesting. I didn't really do Civ 6 multiplayer because it was just chaos. Um, I didn't do any of the other Civs. Civ 5 was the only one I really did multiplayer on. I mean, it was okay. Um, they're adding the ability to one more turn it. The whole concept of Civilization was one more turn. And it wasn't even in the base game at launch. Or the base game for those who got it early on the 6th of February. Or even those who were sent the game earlier than that. Because there was already a video or two out for those who could play 7 level or rounds, and that was it. It was baffling. And then research queuing. Honestly, I take that or leave it. That one doesn't bother me. I often forget to use it when I have it, and then when I don't have it, I don't think about it. So that one's okay. I don't really care either way. New resource types and updates to resource map allocation. Okay. New resources are always great. Stop deleting the ones that we find. I mean, we have resources for each age, apparently. And then they change. It's like, well, no, people still want, fur in the modern age. I mean, come on now. I can't think of anything. I remember fur because I had a whole bunch of fur and ivory or something like that. I had a whole bunch of something. And then after April or May, who knows, we'll get 1.2 point something something or 1.3 point something something. Who knows what they'll point it as. And it will come with more updates, more map sizes, auto explore. Yes, to auto explore. I am so, oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how much I missed auto explore. And it wasn't part of the base game. Oh my god. I can't tell you how happy I am to see that one actually. Modding tools, so sometime by June, July, maybe even August, depends on when that rolls out, you're going to see a whole bunch of people making mods to improve the game beyond what they will ever do to the game. Because Civ 6, with a lot of the mods that people use, especially from very good modders, proves the game a whole lot. More updates and AI improvements. The AI in this game, in Civ 7, I actually don't have any complaints about it right now. I think it is better than what we've had before. So they definitely worked a lot on the AI of civilizations of the game. The fact that you have to constantly talk to these other countries, otherwise they think you're mad at them and then they denounce you, is appalling. It's like, ugh, I have my own country to worry about. I don't have time to worry about your country. Although, nothing's ever going to beat Civ 6 and dealing with Arabia, I believe it was, and the whole fact I didn't share my religion. No, it wasn't Arabia. It was what was that country? Zululand or something? I forget. But you didn't share. You're not sharing your religion, or you're not doing that. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where you're at. You know. But I digress. And I just overall, I think the game is going to do well. I do. Right now, do I think it's replayable in its current state? Man, I mean, if you want to try the different leaders just to see what each one brings to the table, then yeah, play it. Definitely. If you played the leaders that you were hoping to play, like Tecumseh and Harriet Tubman and Benjamin Franklin and whoever else, and you got your happy moment there, all right. I mean, don't get me wrong. Right now, I have a save game where I'm playing my leader is Harriet Tubman, and man, I'm enjoying this game. That one. Tecumseh wasn't bad. I enjoyed Tecumseh. Um, I have a save game as Abraham Lincoln, but it was more or less just to see what the zip tree was, and then I haven't loaded it since. Um, so I might need to redo that. Um, because I like playing the long games. I like it taking a while, but at the same time, sorry, didn't mean to go on there. I'm tired. Ugh. There we go. Get some water. But at the same time, I think it's just crazy that we, we're having to wait for some of the most common things that we got in other games. Honestly. And another thing that worries me is they're going to do to Civ 7 what they did to Civ 6. They're going to DLC us to death. I'm just part of me, and on top of that, there were DLCs and expansions, full on expansions that you had to get if you wanted a certain DLC at some point. And then there was more expansions. I mean, the whole I'm trying to think of what they call them. I'm looking at my Steam page right now. All there was 10. We had the Leader Pass, the New Frontier Pass. Then there was the expansion packs of Rise and Fall and Gathering Storm. Then there were the DLC packs. You know, Portugal, Vietnam, Kublai Khan, Babylon, Byzantine and Gaul, Ethiopia, and the Mayan and Grand Colombian packs. I'm like, ugh. Now, don't get me wrong. I loved when they added Portugal. Oh my gosh. I missed Portugal. I was very happy that Portugal was back. Really was. Truly. Because when I played Civ 4, I always made sure Portugal was in the game. I just enjoyed Portugal. Um, but we don't even have Portugal in Civ 7 now, nor England. I mean, I could be wrong. I think there might be those. Um, I think what was it called? Depending on the depending on what you got, because there was the Founders Edition, the Deluxe Edition, and then the Standard Edition. Um, I did the Deluxe Edition. I was just like, eh, like, and according to this, Crossroads of the World is one of the perks you should be able to play, and it's supposed to give you Great Britain soon. Like, there's none of the Civ are here yet. They all are coming soon. And we're talking Nepal, Bulgaria, um, Grand Columbia, Simon Bolivar, I think that was Grand Columbia. Um, Natural Wonders, a whole bunch of those. Great Britain. The fact that we had France in the base game, but we didn't have Great Britain. I mean, come on now. Carthage, and a whole bunch of others. But I haven't been able to figure out how to play any Crosswords of the World because, man, um, right now the reviews on it is negative. But it's interesting. I mean, like I have, like I said, I got the deluxe edition. And frankly, the game has only been out since February 11th. It is March 1st. It has roughly 30 to 34 reviews, depending on how you click on this thing. And some people go into great detail about their anger, and some people just say blah, basically. Um, and some people give it a thumbs down because they asked a question on does it work on Mac? So, you know, I think there's a lot of room for improvement with Civ 7. I really do. Um, are we going to see then my ranking thing might change to it might stay at 10th place. Um, I don't know what to predict about it. I am happy. I do like a lot of the aesthetics of the game. I like that you can build the wall around all the districts. I do like that. I did enjoy that. I did not enjoy the fact that the World Wonders just seemed random at most. Like, I was playing as Egypt and I couldn't build the pyramids anywhere. And I was surrounded by desert. I was like, I'm pretty sure the pyramids are in Egypt. But I can build the Colosseum, which is in Rome, as Egypt. I mean, I I honestly think they need to change the way the World Wonders work. Um, Depending on your civ, you get special wonders for that civ that you can build and no one else. And then there'll be world wonders that everyone could build, like the United Nations or some mega airport or something that every country can do. But the first one to do it's going to be applauded, like you know, putting something on the moon, space race kind of something that I guess I'm explaining myself here. Because some more wonders they just don't make sense. Seeing like Spain build the Stonehenge or America build the pyramids just was weird. Um, but having the ability, uh, I guess, to build all wonders as one leader is what would be key, I guess. But instead of 7, you can't even do that. So, all right. Well, other than that, folks, I appreciate you listening to my rambles here, my thoughts on Civilization 7, what I thought of the game after all the gameplay. Um, Gameplay is coming up next after this conversation. Um, so I hope you enjoy. Um, I know that I enjoyed recording the episodes for you folks. I hope you truly do. And for those of you who are not subscribed yet and are watching the videos, please hit that subscribe button. Please. Um, I did hit 50 by the end of December. I would honestly like to be at 250 by the end of this year. And then, double that next year and keep doubling it. and I know we can do it. And the more subscribers I get, the more I can put back into it. Um, as you know. So instead of operating in the negative here. um, but the goal is to build a great channel for games and have a variety of games. And I do plan to have more Pokemon content soon. Um, so that being said, I'm just kind of giving you an update. While looking at the updates for Civ, it reminded me I need to give you an update on the future gameplay. Um, let's see here. I think I can actually do a screenshot. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a screenshot of the planned episodes um, from now to the end of April. Um, and I'm going to put it on here. Um, so give me a second to upload that. Alright, so I have got the schedule now up on the screen. Um, Outside of this episode, which is due to come out on the 1st of March, so later today, as well as a Lego Batman episode, which I'm sure will be out before or after this one. I don't know. I forgot when I put the schedule times. As you can see, there's no times listed. I just spent all day. Um, but this is the plan. I'm going to wrap up the Lego Batman series. I'm wrapping up Project Hospital. I'm going to wrap up Lego Harry Potter. I'm going to start wrapping up a lot of the Jurassic World Evolution gameplays that we've been doing. Um, so that way I kind of have an idea of what we're at, where we're at. So this month and next month is going to be pretty just wrapping up everything. I'm going to wrap up Pokemon X. I know we kind of just stopped, but I'm going to finish that. I still have the same game. Um, and there will be an episode in there talking about Pokemon ZA. I haven't put it on the calendar yet because I don't know if I'm going to talk about it now or am I going to talk about it later. A lot of people are already talking about it, so I don't know if I'm going to say really anything they haven't said. Um, so, kind of just undetermined. Um, so, with that being said, folks, as you can see, the schedule is coming out soon, or that's the pending schedule for March and April. I know it says July. I didn't put May, June, July up there. There's nothing really. Um, there's some ideas, um, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. Give me some ideas at the end of this episode. If anything, some ideas on some gameplay. Um, I can hold a what I guess I call just a chat session where I show you the different games on Steam that I have available to play, and the same on the Switch, and let y'all pick the next game. Um, Unfortunately, you can't pick Fallout. The game won't play, even on Steam, for me. So I tried to do some videos of that either last year or the year before, and yeah, that ended badly. So, which is sad because it's such. I enjoy that game greatly, but can't choose Fallout. We could, I guess, technically do Mass Effect. Um, I would have to figure out how to break that down to episode status because that I did for played on Twitch as a straight playthrough. That took forever. Um, but I wouldn't mind. I mean, um, I do play with mods on Mass Effect, and so yeah. But other than that, folks, the this is the schedule. Um, yeah, I know it's not much; it's kind of lackluster, but it is what's upcoming. Subject to change. Um, I may just declare the episodes of what we already have for Jurassic World Evolution complete, call it done, and start over. Um, I know there's one series that I am going to finish. I think it was Jurassic World Evolution 2, where we built the Jurassic Park and was trying to build up the different habitats for Jurassic World. It was suggested to quit making everything so boxy. So I've been working on that. So, with that being said, folks, I hope you enjoy what's coming next, which is going to be Civilization 7, Episode 9, the finale. So, with that being said, folks, prepare yourselves. It's something. Thank you. Hello and welcome. This is Cosmic Greninja. This is Episode 9, Part 3 of the modern age of Civilization 7. Um, we have ended all of our wars. We're still friendly with a few people. And we're kind of preparing ourselves for another war that may or may not happen. So we'll see. Now, I am going to let you know there are going to be parts that are going to be just cut because it's just repeating over and over, next turn, next turn, next turn kind of things. And then some parts I might just fast forward. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started and go. So, as we're waiting for the next turn, we're sitting here focused on the capital. We have White Oak to our north. Every one of our cities look happy. Probably not going to do a lot of talking in this episode. Um, Probably just going to let the game play, just represent itself. I mean, I've already, as you probably listened to at the beginning of this video, which is a little different than most, um, I already kind of had my chat about my thoughts of Civ 7 so far. So, with that being said, I'm just going to sit here and play. I'm probably not going to talk very much. Um, like I said, there might be moments that just seem to randomly happen. It's because I just cut out the whole pressing enter over and over parts. And we'll go from there. Alright, folks. Here we are at the end of the modern age. And we've been defeated. We didn't win the game. We lost. We had no rewards, apparently. We did earn a lot of experience, though. So that's something. We'll continue it on to our next play. It has been a great pleasure playing Civ 7. I am very happy that I did get it when I got it. And overall, I will replay it again. I won't record again for it for a while, but I will replay it just in my free time. Probably quite a bit. um, but with that being said, folks, I hope everyone has greatly enjoyed the playthrough. I know I have. I know I've said a lot of stuff in the beginning of the video, and I stand by it. But at the end of the day, it is a new game, and there are going to be bumps. So, with that being said, folks, thank you for watching the final episode of Civilization 7, Part 3 of the Modern Age. Just want to remind you to hit that subscribe button below, leave a comment. And with that being said, folks, thank you for watching. Later.